Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and to another memory plan with me. This week we are memory planning the week of January 20th through to January 26th. And once again, I am using this an absolutely stunning kit from Plannerface. Now, for my friends who are non-Australian, this is actually the week of Australia Day. Australia Day is one of those holidays in Australia that a lot of people don't want to celebrate or don't celebrate. I myself don't celebrate. It's one of those things. But given the week that it was and the fact that I wanted to use this kit and I had no idea when else it would be appropriate to use a fully Australian themed kit, I went with this Australia themed kit from Plannerface. Again, like I said, I do not celebrate the holiday. I do not promote the holiday, nothing like that. I just wanted to use this kit. The colors are stunning. The landmarks, the clip art, the way that everything has been done by Jess of Kittenish Girl. Jess, what? Moving on. Just, it's utter perfection. It reflects Australia so perfectly. And I just thought it was probably going to be the only time that I would be able to use this kit. I mean, again, this holiday, as they call it, comes around yearly, so I could use it any year, but I had it in my collection. I'm trying not to hoard. I'm trying to use up my kits. I'm trying to, be good about that. So I decided I was just going to bite that bullet, so to speak, and use this kit. I did pair this with a foil bundle from Plannerface. I don't know what the format's called, but it's the one that kind of twinkling stars. Is it called Twinkle? Probably, knowing my luck. And to everyone's surprise, considering my last two spreads I did not use foil on the full boxes, I did actually use foil on the full boxes this week. I did forget to put in my weekend banner this week because, as I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I'm trying to actually put my weekend banner in my spreads now, and I was 3 from 3, and then we got to spread number 4 and I completely forgot about it. And the way that my plans were laid out, I didn't want to rip up the stickers. I didn't think I was going to have room for them, so I'm just going to have to pop the weekend banner down the bottom somewhere, but it is what it is. As of this moment in time, again, there is a white space section in my sidebar because I haven't put an extra full box. I haven't put any highlights, nothing like that. I don't know why. I think it was something that I wanted to put something particular in the sidebar, and again, maybe I didn't have an icon or a script or whatever it was. So I've not done it at the time with the plan with me. But otherwise, I do use the tall box Fashion Girl from the kit and just a regular full box. But I guess without further ado, let's jump into the day by day, because if I ramble, you all know that I'm going to run out of time. I don't think much happened this week. It was a work week. But let's go through it together and let's, reminisce on what did happen. So Monday, the first thing that I've marked is, of course, work. For anyone who may be new here, of course, hi, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Your support means the absolute world. But I tend to mark work the same way throughout the week. So if I mark it with a laptop sticker and a work script, I'll do that exact same thing for every day that I work throughout the week. I never change the icon or the script. Like, it is what it is. It's very consistent. So I've got work there. For anyone who watched my previous plan with me, you will know that I mentioned that we were asked to come back to the office 3 days a week. But I had an emotional breakdown over it because I was worried about being able to juggle my IVF cycles and the hormones and just everything that comes with IVF, in addition to having to present as a respectable human at the office. We were able to put in an exemption. So basically, our manager said if we believed that we had something worthwhile to say that might give us an exemption from returning the 3 days a week, to put it in writing. So I poured my heart and soul into an email that was very, very personal, told them exactly how I felt during hormones. In how I felt during injections, how emotional, physically, mentally taxing IVF was, how that now that they'd taken our parking away, because we used to get parking as part of the incentive of coming in once a week, I would then have to travel from my appointment to the office, which is an hour drive on a good run, to then have nowhere to park because it would be like 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. I would then have to park in the council building, which costs $20 a day. So my living expenses would be more. I would be stressed. I would be incredibly tired because I'm then running around from these appointments and being expected to show up in the office. At the time, I don't know if this played a part or not, but I did have a male manager, not a direct manager, but the manager that my manager reports to was male. I don't know if it had any sway on the matter, but it definitely felt like my circumstances weren't really considered the way that they should have been, and my exemption got declined. And my exemption wasn't even that I was happy to come to the office. I was just requesting that for the 2 weeks that I'm in a cycle, I don't have to present to the office, and then I would present to the office as per requirements every other day, and I was declined. So this is the day that I got that decline. Also, apologies for my dog. It is thundering here, but again, I want to get these plan with me's out. I will try and dull him out in the background, but if you can still hear him, I apologize. And given that we're halfway through the video at this point already, I'm not starting again. But yeah, so because my office exemption was declined, I cried. I then had a debrief with my work friends after work about it because I just needed to get it off my chest. And then we just had some catch-ups because there was a lot going on in the office. A few people put in exemptions and were declined, so we were just kind of chatting about all of that. I then marked that I did a voiceover, and then I finished the night by watching I'm a Celebrity with my husband. On Tuesday, I have marked work. I then marked that I was in back-to-back meetings because, again, as you can imagine, come back to work 3 days a week, no notice period, office exemptions declined. My whole team was just spiraling. We also found out that it was just my team being affected by these changes. So despite many other departments in our office being like the same level or same like pay grade as us, they weren't being asked the same thing. So it was very unfair. So we were having like meetings constantly to discuss all of this stuff. My team to this point did not know that I was undergoing IVF or that I had been doing IVF. And on this day, I actually told them because of everything that was happening. Got a little bit emotional, felt like a little bit of a dick. But they were made aware and they all sympathized and were like, the fact that your exemption was declined was unreasonable. I then marked that I did some laundry this day, that I was tired, that I watched some more I'm a Celebrity, and then I read that evening. Don't know what I was reading. I was probably planning to mark that in the sidebar, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, haven't done that. Wednesday, 22nd, it was my niece's birthday, so I marked that at the top there, followed by work. I then marked doing some laundry, that once again, I had another debrief phone call with the girls from work after work. It was very consistent at this point in time. I feel like there's a solid couple of days where we're just calling each other every day. It was 36 degrees this day. I watched I'm a Celebrity again, and I marked that I uploaded a video on this day as well. Thursday, I have marked work. I don't know whether my period was late or what was happening, but on Thursday I did take a pregnancy test. I think it was maybe a couple of days late. And even though I knew in my heart of hearts I wasn't pregnant, I took a pregnancy test just to confirm because obviously we were about to start an IVF cycle and you don't want to be pregnant and start putting those hormone injections into your body because it's not very good for baby. It's not good for you if you're pregnant. So I had to get that out of the way. I then marked something. Well, no, put a sticker down, but I didn't write down what it was. I think, again, I was maybe waiting for a script that hadn't arrived at the time. So I'll have to go back to my planner notes for that. I did an online grocery order. I left space for marking that we watched something on TV which wasn't I'm a Celebrity because otherwise I would have just written it in. So again, have to go back to my planner notes. And then again, I did mark uploading another video on this night as well. On Friday, I marked that I had a day off work. I marked that I got my period. So, of course, did a pregnancy test the day before that was negative. And then the very next day got my period, just like a salt in the wound moment. I then marked that I was mad about work, that with everything happening, I was so stressed about it all that I felt like it robbed me of my weekend. I then marked that I called the IVF clinic to schedule my blood test for the Monday, because as soon as your period starts, you have to schedule your first blood test. I marked that I chilled with the boys. I've left a space there, I'm assuming, once again, to mark a movie that we watched or something that we watched that evening, but once again, obviously didn't have an icon and or a script for. Saturday, I marked that it was my niece's birthday party and we went to Pizza Hut all you can eat. I marked that I had some pasta and some salad. We then decided on a whim that we were going to go to like the wildlife park nearby. So I marked that we got a Starbucks coffee through drive-through on the way there, and then we went to said wildlife park. I marked that my goddaughter loved the roos. She just like wouldn't go away from them. She just kept staring at them. And then when we got home, I just marked that we watched some more I'm a Celebrity. And then finally, on to Sunday, I marked at the top of the day there that we went to McDonald's and got some coffee. We went to our friend Annie and Graham's house, which is where my niece and my goddaughters that I keep talking about in this week live. So we went to visit them. We hung out in the pool. My niece, I don't know what she did, but they have a glass table outside and she smashed said table. So I marked that. We had Pizza Hut for dinner, and then we watched a movie called Tarot. And that is it for this plan with me. Apologies for the dog once again, but I hope you have enjoyed. See you soon. Bye.